Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hit Cricket, your top source for all cricket analysis and commentary. I'm your host, Sean, joined by CCL's very own commentator, Rahul. Today, we're going to be talking about the Collegiate Cup, the CCL's very own national college tournament. 4 regional tournaments, the Midwest, Atlantic, Western, and Southern Championships have all led to this tournament starting on March 12th. And we have the 2 groups set here. Arizona State, Ohio State, George Washington University, UCLA, and UNC, as well as Pitt, make up Group A. And Group B contain Rutgers, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, USC, and the Wisconsin Badgers. We've seen some magnificent cricket in all of these 4 regional tournaments, Rahul. How excited are you for the Collegiate Cup to commence in 2 weeks?
Well, first off, it's really exciting because we've seen some fascinating cricket across the 4 regionals that you mentioned. And we've seen some quality batters, quality bowlers, and some outstanding teams on show. And these teams have earned their spot. You know, they've played some quality cricket, and now we're here with the top 12 teams out of a pool of quite a few number of teams, like 40 to 50 teams. So, you know, we're having the competition between 12 of the best teams across the nation, and that's something that's going to be fascinating. You know, we saw some really close games in the regionals themselves. So just imagine how good the quality of games are going to be here in the nationals. And you're playing at the Broward County Stadium in Florida, like a cricket stadium. So you can't ask for a better environment to showcase your skills. It's an ICC-approved stadium in the United States. The college students cannot ask for a better environment to showcase their skills and prove why they're here.
100%. I agree with you, Rahul. The fact that the Collegiate Cricket League has expanded to so many teams, so many schools willing to participate this year, it's only gone up from where it was last year, where there was only a national tournament. So fantastic stuff for the Collegiate Cricket League. As you said, they're playing at Broward County Stadium, which is a stadium where a lot of professional matches occur. This is really awesome stuff. So we can't wait to jump into the actual tournament. But yeah, what do you think of the groups and how the teams match up just in general?
So I think the groups are pretty fair. Like you have some really strong teams in both groups, and there are underdogs in each group as well who can definitely punch above their weight. Just overall, we'll obviously analyze between each team, but I think, you know, Group A, Arizona State has played some outstanding cricket to win their championship. They were dominant throughout. George Washington showed why they're one of the best. Ohio State ended up runners-up in the Midwest, so we want to see if they can punch above their weight. It might be a bit difficult against some of the teams who made it from the other conferences, but, you know, they've shown they can play. UCLA had a good run. UNC and Pitt, you know, Pitt played excellently well as well. So it's a well-rounded out group. Group B, I feel, is more where you have a lot of consistency within the teams. Like Rutgers played a lot of consistent cricket with you know, a lot of players chipping in here and there. Florida, it's a more collective effort. Georgia as well, collective effort. So I feel like Group A is more, you can say the teams, in my opinion, are more dependent on like a few players here and there. Group B, you have more consistent effort throughout the board. But, you know, there's quality teams on show in both groups. And you can't say this team is going to dominate or this team is going to dominate. I feel like you have really consistent teams on both sides.
100%. And that's the fascination with the Collegiate Cricket League. There's not such a massive gap in talent. Every team has their strengths and their weaknesses, and we're going to see a fantastic competition here in the coming weeks. But without further ado, let's just go into each of the teams and give you a brief analysis of each of them. All right, Rahul. First team, the Western champions, Arizona State University. The Sun Devils were so good in the Western Championship. The deepest batting lineup by far, I think. 3 batters with over 150 runs on their team, led by their openers Yashasvi and Surya, just absolutely dominating at the top. Rahul, what do you make of Arizona State University? Do you think they can translate that form from the Western Championship to the National Championship?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I think they're one of the most complete teams in this tournament, purely because, you know, like you mentioned, 3 batters above 150 runs, and their top 3 just doing a good amount of the work. Like Yashasvi, Surya, they both got them off to really good starts. The opening partnership was stunning. And once that platform was set, Vihan just came in and started going for ball 1, and there were some clean strikes. It wasn't some small sixes. Boundary might have been small, but the ball was clearing them by a comfortable distance. So, I mean, these guys set the foundation, but you got the likes of Abdul, who was able to finish innings as well. Aditya came in, opening 1 game, scored a 50 in that chance, and finished off a couple games as well. So they got like 5-6 batters who can carry the workload, and even if they lose a couple early wickets, they can fight their way to get to a decent score, I believe. And that's the batting lineup, which is really strong, and they got some really good bowlers as well. Anshul picking up 7 wickets. I remember one spell where he took 4 for against UCLA. That was magnificent because UCLA got off to a flyer and he completely put the brakes on the scoring. That's the kind of spinners you want. And then Tanishq with 7 wickets as well. Excellent bowling at the depth, controlling runs. Abdul took 4 wickets and an economy of 10 on that pitch. Those dimensions of the field is outstanding. So had a good amount of bowlers who went for pretty cheap considering the boundary sizes. And their batting looks so deep as well, like you mentioned, and strong. So they're hot favorites for me, one of the favorites.
100%. I mean, they had 2 of the top 3 striking at more than 270. No matter what wicket you're batting on, that's just incredible, that type of consistency. And really, I think Tanishq, the economy doesn't tell the tale for him. He was their wicket taker this tournament. And I really think Arizona State, they're a group with a lot of swagger and confidence, don't you think? So how do you think they're going to fare given the boundaries are a lot larger and the surface is going to be a lot more different than they played at the Western Championship?
I mean, the thing is, one thing I want to say, I saw the batters play live. I don't think they're sloggers. I don't think they're guys who are just like, the boundary's short. I'm toe ending it. It's going just for 6. Those are some long 6s they hit. So, and I feel like they're technically pretty sound as well. Like they have a good swing and it looks like the right technique. So I don't think larger boundaries, yes, some mistimes might get caught and stuff, but I feel like with the depth of their batting lineup and the quality they fare, they should still be able to put good runs on the board, and the bowlers are just going to be better. I mean, if they were taking 7 wickets, like 3 of them having like 5+ wickets in this tournament, they're definitely going to do better on larger boundaries like in Florida and on tougher pitches to bat on. So the bowling is just going to improve, and I feel like the batting should still hold up its end.
Yeah, and there's that extra component of the bowling. They're going to have a better surface to work with as well. So it's not just the batters are going to have a more difficult time. The bowlers are going to have a better time as well. So really excited to see how Arizona State do. Do you think Arizona State's going to be in the top 4 going into the playoffs?
100%. I think they have the batting and the bowling and just that team intensity and the culture to just want to win. I feel like definitely going to be the top 4. Beyond that, I have a hot take. I think they're going to make the finals already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what I think. What about you?
100% a top 4 team for me. They just got that swagger, Sometimes you just need that confidence in yourself. And Arizona State has that in tons. And I think that's really going to be important. And obviously, they're just a very talented team. So look out for the Sun Devils in this tournament, guys. They're going to be one to watch for you. All right, Rahul. Next up, we got George Washington University, hailing from the Atlantic Championship. They got 3rd, and the man who will be on everyone's lips at the tournament from this school is Vansh Kumar. What a fantastic player and a great guy, too. You got to interview him. He scored 177 runs, striking at 260, which probably is the highest in the entire Atlantic Championship. And he also took 7 wickets, going at 7.25 and over. Fantastic all-rounder, one of the best at this tournament. In fact, he's in the preliminary MVP conversations. What are your thoughts on him specifically and just the rest of the team in general?
So yeah, first off about the guy, he's a very nice guy. Like you said, I got to interview him and, he only has one goal, that is to make the team win. It's not like he cares about how many runs he scores or how many wickets he takes. Man's coming into bowl in the 8th and the 10th over. Like, that's the death phase, hardest phase to bowl. He's coming into bowl there, could easily have a bad economy, but he wants to show for his team. He has an economy of 7 at the death. That's like insane. And he comes into bat in the tough situations when the team needs him. Like I remember 2 or 3 games where he finished it from situations where they were down and out of the game. And he is one of the main reasons they're in this Collegiate Cup right now. So, I mean, he's just been outstanding. Like batting at over 250 strike rate consistently, finishing off matches, bowling at the death and finishing off matches there as well with the ball, outstanding. And the team itself, I think they have some really good contributors. Like their opening partnership is really good. Ayush and Ritik, they've been consistent for them throughout, both scoring over 100 runs, and they've given them the base. And Vansh has been able to finish off innings as well. So they've been pretty consistent about the tempo they've taken with the bat. And with the ball as well, they've had some really good performers. And I feel like it's been a cohesive bowling unit, which has allowed them to restrict opponents. And their batters have been good enough to chase it. So I really think this is a team while Vansh has been a superstar for them, they have pieces around him to be able to support him well to try and make a decent push in this Collegiate Cup.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a difficult group that they're in, but I really think that they can make a push within the group, especially with those two openers, like you said. Having that consistency at the top will be crucial for George Washington to put their stamp on this tournament. So how do you think the bowling attack is going to stack up in this tournament? You had mentioned Vunch, brilliant at the death. I mean, only going at 7.25 in a 10-over game is incredible. But we have Akshit as well, taking 10 wickets in the tournament, only going at 8.2. How do you think his role is going to be at this tournament, as well as the other bowlers?
Yeah, he was really impressive. Like, he bowled in that middle over phase, I think, and he was pretty good. He was taking consistent wickets. Like, I remember he took a couple of 3-fers, and he was really consistent for the team as well. So obviously, Vanch has a role at the death, and he needs to be good in those middle overs, obviously. And I think he bowled a couple of the death as well. So yeah, his role is going to be key, I think, in order to make sure that you get those constant wickets, because you want to be chipping away with the wickets, especially when you're playing stronger sides like ASU who have a deeper batting lineup. So his role would be pretty significant, and I think if they want to make a significant push, he's going to have to continue picking up these wickets regularly.
100%. All that being said, do you think George Washington University can be in the top 4 at the Collegiate Cup?
See, it's a good team. Definitely they have their individuals who can make an impact, and they obviously have one of the superstars of the league who would have probably been the MVP in any other championship except this one, because there was some out of this world talent we'll talk about later who played here. But I feel like they'll be on the fringes. It'll be very, very close because there's some other really quality teams as well. I can't put them as a certainty like I did with ASU, but I think they'll definitely be in the mix and have a good shot at it.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. They're a little bit dependent on Vunch, despite the quality of the other players, of course. But having a player of that caliber, it's tough to only rely on him and then a couple others. So I think they're a really good team, but in a group with the quality of UNC, UCLA, as well as Arizona State that we already talked about, it's going to be tough to find consistent wins there. So I don't think they're going to quite make top 4, but watch out for them still. All right, Raul, next team, the Ohio State Buckeyes, second in the Midwest, led by the brilliant Rhythm Patel. He was really good in the Midwest tournament, scoring 183 runs, striking at 126 on a pretty difficult wicket to bat on, all things considered. And they also were led by Pranav Suresh in the wicket department, taking 8 wickets at an economy of 9. What do you think of the Ohio State Buckeyes coming into this tournament?
So I'll start with their bowling because I think that's their strong suit. I feel like they have a really well-rounded bowling attack. You know, like you mentioned, Pranav took the highest wicket taker in the whole tournament. And there was another guy, left-arm fast bowler Arman. He bowled with the new ball and he was swinging it both ways. And he was a treat to watch, to be honest. And unlucky to only get 2 wickets. I thought he bowled phenomenally well. And he was so economical as well with that new ball. When batters are trying to go after you in the power play, you know, it's a skill to be able to execute like that. So he was outstanding. And the bowling attack itself was well-rounded, and like you said, it was a difficult pitch to bat on, but everyone was pretty economical and made sure to hit their line and length straight, and rightfully so, they made the finals. They looked to be the best team in the Midwest Championship until they lost the finals to Wisconsin, but they looked to be a well-rounded team there. But if you ask me what the weakness is, I think it's their batting. Rhythm was really good up top. You know, he batted through the innings on most occasions and highest run scorer for a reason. I mean, he batted brilliantly. But other than that, I just feel like they lack that consistency. You know, Pranav scored almost 100 runs, but other than that, Nishank finished a couple of games well, but just the batting lineup looks really thin apart from that. And I think that's going to not bode too well for them in the Collegiate Cup, especially when you have some quality bowlers coming at you. I feel like they might struggle in that department.
I agree with you there because they only had one batter cross 100 runs, and the strike rates, only one batter was over 150, which was Nishank, who was a fantastic finisher for them, of course. But I really struggle to find where they can have some consistency in the batting department. But potentially we can see kind of the playing field's level on a wicket that's the same for every team. And there won't be that, like, you know, in the West, that was a great wicket, but in the Midwest, it wasn't a great wicket. So we could see the gap become a little bit smaller there. Given that, do you think Ohio State can be a top 4 team in this tournament?
I don't think so. I think there's just so many quality teams which have more well-rounded bowling units to attack this team with, and I feel like the batting lineups on a better pitch could take advantage of some of the bowlers here. It's a high-quality competition with a lot of really good teams. I don't see them making the top 4, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see them as doing that as well. I think maybe with a couple good knocks from Rhythm and a good finish from Nishant, they could potentially pull an upset here on one of the teams that we consider to be stronger. But I have trouble seeing them being consistent enough to finish in the top 4.
I mean, yeah, the only way I see them winning is, Rhythm bats through the innings. They get around 90 to 100 on the board, knock 2-3 early with the Arman, and just see from there, expose the middle order. But yeah, it's tough. I see them winning maybe 1 or 2 games, but I don't see them winning more than that.
That's fair. Next up, we have the UCLA Bruins, quality team from the West. Ended up finishing 3rd, and they are headlined by 2 stars, Tanmay and Trinub, 2 fantastic players. Trinub was actually at the NCL this previous year, coming through the Collegiate Cricket League from last season. He was fantastic at Nationals last year. And at the Western Championship, he was also incredible, striking at 250, 195 runs. And Tanmay was the big star this time, though. 256 runs, striking at that same number, 256. That is, no matter what pitch you're batting on, that's incredible. But the bowlers, I don't want to say this because it was a very tough pitch to bat on. They had a bit of a rough going. They didn't take that many wickets, but that batting, to me, is enough to make up for that. Rahul, what do you think about UCLA, their lineup, and their chances?
So yeah, like you mentioned, I think the batters like Tanmay and Trinub were excellent. Trinub made his way from the Collegiate Cricket League to the National Cricket League this past year, and he showed why he did this year as well. Played some tremendous knocks for them, coming in at 3. And Tanmay, I thought, was so good. Like, he hit a 6 off his first ball like 4 or 5 times, I think. Like, I called it each time, and he kept doing it. It was insane. But like, he was so consistent for them. But my problem is what's after that. The issue was like, 2 or 3 times they got off to rollicking starts, like 90 in the first 6 overs, and it completely collapsed after that. Like, the batting after Tanmay and Trinub is really iffy for me, and I don't know if they can convert a good start to a really good total without those 2 guys, or if they can recover from an early collapse. That's my only issue with them. And as far as the bowling is concerned, yes, everyone went for runs, but I feel like it's a really tough pitch, and they had one spinner like Naman. He was expensive, but I definitely saw some potential in him, and on a better pitch and larger boundaries, spinners would definitely benefit with larger boundaries, and he's someone who I feel can definitely pick up wickets on larger boundaries with some more assistance for him. So the bowling I'm not going to be too critical of, but that batting to collapse even on that pitch, on that ground, is just, I feel like batting after 3 is a real cause of concern.
That's fair. There was Karthik as well. He sometimes opened the innings. He scored 142, striking at 178. Do you think he can do a little bit more to consolidate and help UCLA potentially not have those type of collapses in a high-stakes tournament like this?
But again, he was in that top, like they moved him up to open the batting as well with Tanmay. So you're still looking at a really heavy top 3 and no one else after that. So maybe they can have him lower down the order at 5, maybe to stabilize it a bit. But if you're thinking of a real heavy top 3, we've seen so many teams in various other leagues with heavy top 3s, and they've just not been able to succeed with that formula. So I don't know if that's a template that they can just consistently go on, especially when you're facing some big teams in like the Collegiate Cup and in pressure situations like semifinals and finals as well.
I will say this is a 10-over tournament, though. So say they do collapse, you only have to bat few more overs after that. Like, if you get off to a good start, say you get out, these batters have the quality to get off to they can hit like a 30 off 12 or something like that. You ideally want a little bit more from your opening batters, or your top order, I should say, but that could be enough to take them to a decent total on a tougher wicket. Their bowling may face less of a bashing, given that this wicket is a lot better than the last one. So I'm going to go first here. I do think UCLA is going to be a top 4 team in this tournament. I think the bowling is going to be a lot better in this tournament. Both Ayush and Naman spinners are going to do an incredible job at a ground with larger boundary sizes. So I think UCLA can be a top four team at this tournament, especially considering Turnip has that experience as well. What do you think, Rahul?
I gotta disagree with you on that one, buddy. Okay, you're saying 10 overs, so people can get off the flash, but let me come to this point. 10 overs, 60 balls. It makes every ball even much more that important. And let's say you lose your main batters in 5 overs, that's half of your innings. 30 deliveries is half of your innings where you're going to have to struggle your way. You cannot be wasting 2 to 3 overs. Like, even every ball you waste is a crime in this format, right? So let's say you have 2 to 3 overs with, not as experienced batters. You're basically playing a 7 to 8 over game every game. And you're giving a 2 over advantage to the opposition, in my opinion. So even if these guys bat 7 to 8 overs, the problem is that the 2 overs you're not taking advantage of there, the other team can take advantage of. And the bowling, yes, I agree, it'll be much better. They have some quality in it. But I don't know, they collapsed on those pitches itself. Like, I don't know if they'll be able to post big enough totals to intimidate some of the other batting lineups, is my point. That being said, I do feel their best chance is batting first and trying to just put a reasonable score. Chasing, I don't see them, having a chance, purely because if they lose 3 wickets, then no total is any total is dangerous if they lose their top 3. So I just don't see them qualifying with that lack of batting depth. And, the bowlers, we're yet to see them on bigger grounds, but definitely they'll be better. But yeah, they're not qualifying for me.
All right, we'll agree to disagree on that one, but they are in my top 4.
Not in mine.
Next up, we got UNC second in the shortened Southern Championship, but they performed nonetheless. Headlined by the USA Under-19 captain, Utkarsh. He scored 217 runs, striking at 195. He averaged 72 in this tournament, so he ended not out quite a bit. Simply incredible player. UNC are really looking forward to see him at this tournament. And they have Abhiram as well. Scored 104 runs, striking at 196. Was fantastic at the Southern Championships. And then Smeet as well picked up 9 wickets going at 6.8. How do you think UNC is going to fare here? I think they have a really well-rounded team.
Yeah, I also do. I think their team is really well-rounded. Their batting, like you mentioned, Utkarsh, I saw him live, and some of his stroke play was absolute quality. Like, it's justified why he's been on the Under-19 team, I saw him chase down a score against one of the teams. It was not an easy score to chase down, but he just did it with so much ease. And he was magnificent throughout the tournament, highest run score for them. And Rohan was another player who was just outstanding to watch. He scored 107 runs, but struck at 173. And like, some of the shots he played was just so crisp. Like, I remember an extra cover drive he hit on the rise for 6. That was one of the shots of the entire tournament that I've seen. And he's just played some outstanding shots as well, and he scored a half century as well in that tournament. So I feel like their batting is pretty well rounded, and their bowlers as well. Smeet taking 9 wickets. Tanish, the leg spinner, is probably one of the best leg spinners I've seen going around the different championships. He had such a good control of his line and length and control over his pace, and didn't flight it too much or didn't pull his length back too much, bowled that good line and length where batters can't come into the front or the back foot. So he was really impressive for me as well. So I feel like they have a bowling attack that can piece it together and restrict opponents, and they have some really quality batters to be able to put up good scores. So yeah, I see them as a really good shot to do well in this tournament.
Absolutely, and they have that quality in Utkarsh, as we previously mentioned. How do you think they're going to adapt to these conditions in comparison to the conditions at the Southern Championship?
So the Southern Championship, the boundaries were definitely pretty long. They were good boundaries, and the pitch wasn't the easiest to bat on. So it did have some uneven bounce, and it wasn't like a flat track, or it wasn't as easy as the Western Championship to bat on. It had something for both the batters and the bowlers. So to be able to win 5 out of 6 games there, where it's something to offer for everyone, should hold them in good stead for this tournament, where you definitely see the bowlers having a say, but also the batters being able to show their class well. You definitely expect a pitch where you can expect around maybe 90 or 100, I'm assuming, to be a score within the realms of par. So they were able to consistently achieve that on this ground. So I don't think it should be too much of a hassle for them to adapt. Maybe it might take 1 or 2 games, but I see them still being able to progress well on this.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be top 4. I just have a couple questions about their wicket-taking abilities in the bowling department. But I actually think they're going to be upset by UCLA at this tournament. I know the bowling is not amazing for UCLA, but the experience, I had mentioned it before, Pranav, he's been here, he's done this. And Tanmay as well was fantastic. So I think, here's my call, UCLA is going to pull off the upset against them in this group.
Well, you're calling it an upset yourself, so we know who's the favorites already, right?
Okay.
But yeah, I think they're gonna make the top four, being with a really good shot to make the top four at least, because they do have the experience like Utkarsh, who's played at the Under-19 World Cup. Rohan looks a good batter, and their bowling looks like he can put together a performance. Like not the best bowlers in the tournament, but a workman-like attack, which they can work their way around. And they got some quality batters. And yeah, if USLA wins, that would be an upset. But I think UNC is a really good side on paper, and they should be able to make the top four, in my opinion, but not like one of those dominating teams. I feel like they'll scratch their way into fourth place.
Yeah, I guess we'll agree to disagree on this one as well. All right, Rahul, we've made it to the last team in Group A, none other than the Pitt Panthers, led by the MVP frontrunner, Omkar Zope. This is the guy you need to watch out for if you're tuning into the CCL for the first time, or if you aren't. He scored at 497 runs, striking at 261 at the Atlantic Championship, taking his team and putting them on his back. Simply incredible performance. What a talent Omkar Zope is. We'll certainly see a lot more of him in the future. Rahul, what are your thoughts on Omkar and how he could potentially perform at this tournament?
I mean, he's just absolutely insane, man. Like, I watched him live, and every ball he hit was so crisp. Like, offside, leg side, be it anywhere, he just has the whole 360-degree game, man. He's just insane. 497 runs. You're talking about 500 runs in 8 T10 games.
Insane.
That's 60 runs per game in a 10-over competition where you will probably only play 20 balls max. And you're talking about like 260 strike rate over 500 runs. Like, this is mind-boggling numbers. And it's big boundaries too. It's not like you're dealing with some short boundaries like in the Western Championship. Like, the pitch has something for the bowlers as well. But the way he batted was outstanding. And I'm already assigning it. He's my MVP.
Oh, wow.
He is my Collegiate Cup MVP if he bats in any form like this. And the way he's been hitting it, I expect him to continue going this way. And by far the biggest talent to come out of all four regionals. I don't even think there's a question. Maybe Vansh is a close second. He's been so good. Impeccable. Not only the numbers, the pure impact he has on the team. I won't be surprised if he scored 70% of the runs for them. Like, I'm making a guess right here, but he scored about 75% of the runs for them, I'm assuming, in probably 30 to 40% of the balls that he faced for the team. And that is just insanity. No one else has matched up to him. If you're looking about their batting lineup, it's just him and a distant gap. It's just insane. This is the biggest talent the Collegiate Cricket League has brought out, in my opinion. And if he performs like this at the Nationals, and he's going to have to, if this team has to proceed anywhere, in my opinion, it'll be such a treat to watch, especially against even higher quality bowling. I think we're in for an absolute treat with this guy.
100%. But let me ask you this. What can teams do? You've watched this guy. What can teams do to slow down Omkar Zope?
Maybe run away from bowling. I don't know what you can do to slow him down because, see, you bowl him anywhere on the pads, he's smacking you. You bowl outside off stump. Like, teams came with a plan, try to come around the wicket, angle the ball away from him. He's still slapping it over mid-wicket. He has the shot over the covers as well. And he can hit on the offside, like he has the sixes over long off, over covers. He slapped it over point. He acts as the mid-wicket boundary, long on, deep square. Like, the only shot I haven't seen him play is those ramps that find leg or third man. That's the one thing I've not seen him innovate in. But he doesn't need to. It's such a strong court, such a big game. But one delivery where I think you can contain him is a proper wide line Yorker, or like maybe a toe Yorker, because he doesn't have that ramp. You can consistently bowl that Yorker, maybe to tie him down. But if you miss your length by this much, you're going out the ground. So it's so hard to bowl to this guy. You're just going to have to hope he missed times at this rate. Or maybe slower ball, but he was smacking slower balls out the ground as well. Maybe just mix in a slower ball after you get hit for a couple sixes. That's the only way I see you escaping out. This guy is just absolutely nuts. And he was hitting it in big boundaries as well. So it's not like these boundaries are going to be big enough for him. He's still going to clear them. So just going to have to pray that you get him out early.
Absolutely. Do you think they have enough strength in the entire team to make a run in this championship?
Well, frankly, yes, Omkar has done so much for them. But the problem is that Omkar has done so much for them that no one else has done enough for them, is my opinion. Like, I still don't know how a guy can take a team to win an entire championship, but that's exactly what he did. The problem is, though, the rest of the batters for me. Like, yes, he hit 497 runs, but the rest of the batting just did not live up to it. Like, if you look past him and the opening partnership, they just don't have the batting. And we saw them collapse significantly. Like, in the finals as well, I remember. Omkar hit 50 off just 12, right? They got bowled out for 99.
That was insane.
And they barely won that finals itself. So there's just zero batting after him. Bowling, yes, Utkarsh 12 wickets. And he just went at 7. That's phenomenal talent as well. But you basically are looking at a situation where you got one guy dominating the batting, one guy dominating the bowling. But there's just not enough role players in that side to support them. And God forbid Omkar has a bad tournament or even a bad match. They're losing that match, in my opinion. He has a bad tournament. I don't see them winning a game. If he doesn't perform, I don't see them winning a game. Because that's how much of a significant role he's had in their journey to winning this, Atlantic Championship itself. So he's going to have to be in pristine form just like it was in this tournament. Let's assume the positive. Let's say he is in this pristine form. I feel like they have an outside chance of making the top 4. But with the quality of teams we saw in the Western and the Southern Championships, I feel like even he, with a Superman effort, can't take them to the top 4. It's going to be really tough in my opinion.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. I think we can't discount how good Utkarsh was at the Atlantic Championship. I mean, 12 wickets in 8 games that they played. Simply incredible form from him. And I think he can play a big part in the national championship as well for them. So I see some difficulties seeing them qualify into the top 4 in the semis, but let's hope for it because we want more Omkar. I mean, I don't think anybody wouldn't want more, unless you're actually playing in the tournament against him, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they make it because I just want to see that guy bat more, like you said, but just don't see a realistic chance, especially if he finds himself in a bit of bad form.
Yeah, and especially in this tough group, even if they are starting with the 2 extra points, these other teams like the likes of Arizona State, UCLA, some of these other teams that we previously mentioned, UNC, it's just going to be tough for them to beat some of these more well-rounded teams. But if they can find a solution to Omkar's hope, I think Pitt could be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, but I will tell you, they can upset any team.
That's
that
true.
one guy, they can upset any team in the tournament. Be it the best team which has ever played. They can beat any team in this tournament if he fires.
That's true. I can't wait to see how he matches up against better bowling sides.
Yep.